Yo, what up, guys? I haven't been streaming here for ages, so I thought I would do this little live stream here for a long time. Um, I'm here practicing for my upcoming South Korean tour, which is gonna be happening in 3 weeks. Actually, in starting on 15th on October. Then I'm traveling to Korea, and then ending on 23rd. Yeah, I'm gonna open up also this stream on here on my iMac. I'm not sure if there's anybody even watching, but if there is, and I'm not sure if I can see the comments on this screen here. There we go. Yeah, how can I see it? Huh? Oh, there. Cool. Yeah, so I'm kind of just polishing my technique here for the tour. So I want to be in my bestest form, the best form as I can in there. So what I like to do is I basically jam like this and try to incorporate different techniques of mine. And basically what I'm trying to do here is try to build up the, what is the word, fluency of the playing, you know, so that it would be kind of floating and not too forced, so to speak. And also I have this one little exercise for you guys I want to show, which have helped me with especially building coordination between the two hands. So yeah. By the way, if you have, of course, if you have any questions or comments, just please let me know. I work also as a guitar teacher here in Finland, in the local music institute. So my main job is teaching guitar, actually. So if you wanna, ask anything, I would be happy to help you if I can. Of course, I don't know everything. I feel we are always students of guitar forever, so there's always room for improvement and to learn more. But I've been playing guitar for about, I don't know how long, almost 35 years. So yeah, from my experience, I can share some of my things I've learned that have helped me as a player. Also for my technique, I'm trying to build this kind of technique where, especially as a touring musician, as myself, you want your technique to be kind of bulletproof, you know, because sometimes when you are touring, you might be super tired, like myself most of the time, having some sleep problems, which for me at least usually get a lot worse during touring. And then, you know, you're tired, and then you go to the venue, and you might have some gear you are not familiar with, and maybe you don't even have enough time for a proper sound check, not to mention a good time for warm up. You know, you just have to go with unfamiliar gear, and the stage sound can be, you know, anything from excellent to horrible. Your fans are cold, and of course, depending on what kind of material you are playing. But for me, because I'm a masochist and not too wise, very oftentimes I play very difficult stuff, at least for me. But still, you have to be able to deliver a cool show for the people who have bought the ticket to come to see you. So I'm trying to build this technique where even in those circumstances, I would be able to pull off a cool show, you know, and not do too many mistakes and fuck ups. So this applies for both hands and synchronization and all this stuff, you know. And please let me know if you have any experiences of this kind of issues. So please let me know if you have toured or have done shows in overall and faced any problems during that process. Maybe I can help or not. Okay, so my lesson for today would be this. Basically, it's alternate picking exercise, but in my opinion, there even isn't such thing than alternate picking exercises. Like pure alternate picking exercise would be that kind of thing where you don't have your left hand at all involved, where you are actually playing only with your right hand or picking hand. And actually, this is also a very good thing to do if you have some kind of pattern, let's say this kind of typical Paul Gilbert style passage, where you play 6 notes on each string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So actually, this is also very healthy for your playing to do this exercise only with your right hand. So you're basically doing this, but instead of fingering the pattern, you just mute the strings and go. This might actually reveal some issues you haven't been aware of before. At least for me, this did exactly that. When I kind of isolated only my right hand, I noticed that every time I'm changing the string, there's some little tiny extra noise, so which I didn't notice when I was having also my left hand involved. So then when I became aware of this little issue over there, I of course I was able to fix it after I got aware of it. If you are not aware of things, then you cannot fix them. And then you can also do the exactly same thing with your left hand. Playing legato. Usually people, when they are doing legato, they are picking always the first note on each string. Or usually they are picking that finger, they are playing with their index finger. So that's fine, but you can also do it only with hammer-ons, which is very difficult and great for your left hand. But today we are doing both hand synced alternate picking stuff. So, but afterwards you can also do it only with your right hand and only with left hand. Cool. And also one thing I learned from the picking master Rusty Cooley. He once said that he's practicing everything with alternate picking and with legato. So those two techniques are always they go hand in hand, you know. And basically, you cannot have a good alternate picking without a good left hand technique. So basically, the good legato actually comes first if you think it that way, you know. So if it's actually a pretty weird idea if you would have a great right hand technique, but a poor left hand technique. So that's basically impossible. So left hand comes first in with this logic. So the exercise goes like this. You have you can do this exercise with any scale, in any key, with any fingering. But today we are focusing on these fingers 1, 3, 4, and because for most people this combination is the most difficult one. So I like to practice things that are not impossible for me, but that are a little bit problematic or a little bit difficult. And this fingering especially is a little tricky. And the reason for that is basically you have your finger tendons going right here, you can see them. And they are attached to the long muscle over here, which is attached to the elbow bone. So your index and middle finger, they have their individual tendons that go right here, and finally they attach to the muscle. But ring finger and pinky, they actually share the same tendon, which connects somewhere around here, and then it's only one tendon that is connected to the muscle. So for this reason, whenever you are, if you keep your fingers like this and you pull down your ring finger, I have practiced this, but usually your pinky comes with the ring finger because they share the same tendon, and vice versa. This is even more difficult when you pull down your pinky, the ring finger usually comes along, and for me, as you can see, it comes a little bit because they have the same tendon. So that makes the control of those two fingers more difficult than if you would be using like 1, 2, 4 fingering or 1, 2, 3. So we are kind of making ourselves into a trouble here. And the pattern goes as follows. On each string, it's 5, 7, 8 twice. So you are playing 6 notes per string. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And pure alternate picking here. And this might be a little funny, but I start with an upstroke just because it's already difficult enough. For some reason, starting with an upstroke makes it a little bit easier for me. But it's good to be able to play it also starting with a downstroke, like this. So now I start with down, and if you start with a down, then every string starts with a downstroke. If you start with up, then every string starts with an up. Okay. So this alone is good exercise, but after this we do the same thing, descending. And now as we were ascending, we always had our index finger first on each new string. Index, 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 pound. And then same backwards, so that your pinky this time around is the first finger on each string. And this is usually a little bit more difficult for my students. So you play on each string 8, 7, 5 twice. And I start this descending version with a downstroke, actually. So it's down, down, down. But again, it's good to be able to do this also with starting with an upstroke. And again, if you start with an up, then every string starts with an upstroke. So it's up, 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 up. And vice versa, if you are starting with a downstroke, then every string starts with a down, 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 down. Okay, then you can combine these two. Alrighty. Then comes the tricky part. Then, so we have 4 versions here. The first one, when we were ascending, our index finger first. Then we were descending, our pinky first. Now we're ascending kind of backwards, our pinky first. So this feels quite funny when you try it for the first time. So each string is 8, 7, 6 twice. Hold on, yeah. So it kind of feels you are walking backwards. Yes. And again, I'm starting with an upstroke because I feel it's a little bit easier. But since we are all masochists, we want to also make it a little bit more difficult and more painful because we like pain. So you can start also with a downstroke. Yeah, that's funny. And then the final version, fourth variation of this idea of using 6 notes per string with these 3 little fingers here. Then we are descending kind of backwards with our index finger first. So you are playing 5, 7, 8 twice on each string and descending. This is the most difficult one for me, for some reason. Actually, I'm not sure why it is the most difficult one. Sorry, I cannot talk today. Trying my best. And you know what is funny? This is kind of my later observations. If you are finding some pattern or some lick to be a little bit difficult, most people, at least with my experience, when they are facing something difficult, of course they get a little insecure, and then they start to play lighter. You know, basically, I think they are trying to hide. You know. So they are doing like this if they find this difficult. But what I've found out that when you are playing like carefully, like this, it's actually making it worse. So what I've discovered, at least for my technique, when I just played like pretty loud and bravely, for some reason it helps with the synchronization and also with kind of dialing in the muscle memory. So with this guy, it really helps actually with the synchronization, especially when I'm kind of picking like this pretty, you know, hard. Not too hard, of course, but by this you are kind of making your hands clear that how the pattern goes. So if you are kind of playing like carefully and trying to avoid making noise, then I guess you are messaging your hands that we are now for some reason we are not sure what we're doing, and it makes things worse. So just play it bravely with an attitude. Yeah. So then you can try to combine these 2 backward versions where you were ascending pinky first and then descending index first. And then the grande finale, you can try to combine all of these 4 variations. So there you have it. This is, I feel, a great kind of pretty simple exercise to practice multiple things at the same time. One thing would be alternate picking, one thing would be your left hand technique, third thing would be your synchronization, fourth thing is that we are focusing on this kind of tricky finger combination, and of course we are at the same time also the musical content is for my taste, it's interesting. So afterwards you can of course you can use these ideas for more musical approach, when you can actually utilize some scale, let's say A minor. Of course, you don't have to play all the four variations like you know, in a following sequence. You can just pick one of those and use that as a short passage within a solo, for example. So maybe I want to build up some kind of thing to target note, which would be, let's say, this A note here, and I'm ascending kind of backwards over there. Or whatever. You can use your imagination and use these ideas for part of your solo. And yeah, and then you can use also the advantage of modern technology. Back in the day when I was a young dude, we didn't have an internet here in Finland, and so we didn't have any backing track opportunities unless your friend was able to strum some kind of chord sequence and you can jam along. I did my jamming with along with radio actually, or with some C cassettes. But afterwards I got this little Casio keyboard where I was able to record some short chord sequences, and I used those for practicing technique also. So I had my drum machine there, and I was able to record some little chord changes over there, and then I would solo on top of that. It was basically like playing with metronome, but I had a harmony there, which was excellent. But nowadays you have all that, plus you have YouTube with millions of backing tracks. So you can, for example, dial or search for a backing track, let's say A minor rock backing track for guitar. And then you can even add a tempo, let's say 100. And I'm sure you will get lots of hits with this search, key search. And then you can, you can just practice these exercises. Also with backing track, so it's always more fun if you are kind of practicing with music, Yeah, so that's it for this time around. I'm happy that you guys who were there, thanks for watching, and also please subscribe to my channel if you haven't. I actually like streaming, it's fun, especially if we can make some kind of interactive conversation here going on. So I try to be more active here also in this live stream department, and yeah, feel free to contact me and ask stuff and talk to me. Alrighty, so I will continue with my practice for my tour in South Korea. By the way, if you are living in South Korea, see you in 3 weeks. And so, until then, I wish you all a great week and see you next time. Cool. Bye-bye.